Very well, welcome. Today's live is about teas. For those of you who like teas, I'm going to talk about the benefits. I'll talk about 5, okay? I've picked out my favorites here, okay, guys, the ones I like the most, and I'm going to talk about the benefits, how to use them, how to make them. So we're going to talk about here in our live stream. All right, let's go then, my friends. Teas have been used for millennia by humanity for a variety of reasons. Maybe teas were the first medicines of the human race. Yeah, they were the first medicines. Back then, I don't know if you were aware, but you couldn't call iFood or delivery and ask them to bring headache medicine to your house. That didn't exist in medieval times. It's not that long ago, really. 50 years ago, that didn't exist. But back in the Middle Ages, in ancient times, people turned to teas to sleep well, to have more energy for a variety of purposes. And teas haven't lost their majesty. Even today, recently, right? They have been elevated to a therapy because, yes, some teas can be considered medicines. I'm going to give you 5 examples here that can work as antioxidants, to help you slow down aging. They can be used to boost energy, they can be used to improve sleep, and even to control cholesterol. That's right, some teas can help you control cholesterol, that bad cholesterol, That cholesterol we've already talked about, we've already made videos about it here, right? That small, dense, and potentially oxidizable cholesterol, which is really the bad cholesterol. Let me adjust this camera here. So this helps a lot. Some teas can help, and I'll give you some examples here. All right, my friends, but before that, I need to ask you something, okay? And it's very important to me. I'm going to ask you to pay very special attention to what I'm about to ask you. I want you to vote for me for the Hibiscus Award, okay? I put the Hibiscus Award here in our chat here on YouTube, and it's in my bio on Instagram. The Hibiscus Award is an award that in this phase will select the 20 biggest health influencers in Brazil. And I would really appreciate your vote, okay? You won't even spend 10 seconds. You'll just click on the link. It's in my bio on Instagram, it's in the comments, and it will also be in the description of this video. And you'll vote for me there on Hibiscus, okay? It will only take 10 seconds. But there's an important detail. You can vote every day. That's right, every day. You use the same link and leave a vote for me until June 13th, okay? I know I can count on you. This is very important to me, okay, guys? Very important. I would really like you to give me that vote, and I would like you to make an effort to vote every day. In the morning, did you wake up in the morning? Go to the link and leave a vote for me, okay? As I said, it doesn't even take 10 seconds. I think not even 5 seconds, right? And this will be very important for my work, okay? And of course, like this video, of course, share this video and obviously give it a like. Go ahead and leave a like on this video. But since I've already made my request, did my little campaign, right? I'm campaigning. Now that I've done my campaign, let's get to what matters to you, right? Which is the content of this video. But I'm going to share with you here, my friends, my favorite teas, okay? I dare say that I drink these teas almost every day, okay? It's very rare that I don't have one of these teas that I'm going to tell you about here, okay? I'm going to split this video into 2 parts. I'm going to bring you teas to use in the morning, and I'll bring teas for you to use at night because they have different purposes, okay? And I don't recommend that you use the teas I'm going to talk about here during the day. I don't recommend that you use them at night and vice versa. I don't suggest using the nighttime teas I'll mention during the day. I'll explain why, okay? Let's start with my favorite tea. This is my favorite. I usually drink this tea every other day, okay, which is green tea. You've probably heard of green tea, right? It's a tea that's very popular in the East. It's also a tea that's very popular in the United Kingdom, right? You go to London, in the United Kingdom as a whole, people don't drink, they don't have the habit of drinking coffee, they drink a lot of tea, black tea, right? Green tea itself, which comes in different forms, black tea is nothing more than green tea that's been roasted more, right? It's roasted longer. And why green tea? And the Easterners, don't get me started, The Chinese barely drink coffee. They're only just beginning to now. They drink a lot of green tea, a lot of green tea. Why do they drink so much green tea? Chinese wisdom has already made it clear that green tea will increase longevity. You will age more slowly because it's an antioxidant and it has a number of very interesting substances. The first of them is caffeine. Yes, green tea has caffeine. It's not just coffee that has caffeine, okay? Green tea has caffeine. This caffeine works as a stimulant. Just like we Westerners drink coffee in the morning, we have this habit of drinking coffee in the morning, which gives us that energy, that boost. Because of the caffeine, right? Coffee has a lot of caffeine. It also has other interesting substances, right? Like chlorogenic acid, for example. Eastern people drink green tea, which also has caffeine. Not as much caffeine as coffee, but besides caffeine, besides this stimulating effect, green tea also has some catechins, which are very interesting phytonutrients for our health. And I'm going to highlight here the epigallocatechin gallate, okay? The epigallocatechin gallate. You'll see that there are several studies regarding this catechin, specifically, especially in cancer treatment, okay? Epigallocatechin gallate is widely studied, both in tumor prevention and in treatment. So it's a substance that has already been extensively cataloged in several studies, okay? Several studies. So there are several studies showing that epigallocatechin gallate has an anti-cancer effect, just like indole 3-carbinol, which is present in broccoli, also has plenty of evidence, right? Just as turmeric has plenty of evidence of anti-inflammatory properties, epigallocatechin gallate has this property as well. So if you drink green tea just to get epigallocatechin gallate, you're already making a great choice, okay? And besides, of course, the epigallocatechin gallate, and besides caffeine, there are several polyphenols, right, which have antioxidant properties. And I dare say that all the teas we're going to talk about here are rich in polyphenols, okay? These are phenolic rings that work as free radical scavengers. But green tea has another very interesting substance, which is L-theanine. L-theanine, in fact, you can even buy L-theanine in supplement form. There are already supplements based on L-theanine. L-theanine improves our cognition, okay? It improves our reasoning, improves our memory, and at night it even helps with sleep. But L-theanine improves sleep in its pure form as a supplement. I don't recommend that you drink green tea at night because even though it has L-theanine, which improves sleep, it also has caffeine, okay? It also has caffeine and that can harm your sleep. That's why I set aside green tea here as a tea to drink during the day, early in the morning, or at most until 3 or 4 in the afternoon, okay? Exactly because of the high concentration of caffeine. So, our first tea. And at the end of this video, my friends, I'll teach you how to make tea, okay? Because a lot of people do it the wrong way. If you heat the tea too much, the volatile properties will volatilize. They'll evaporate, they'll be lost. And if you don't reach the right temperature and the right brewing time, the infusion, you also won't be able to extract the therapeutic substances, which are important. Okay? This video, someone asked here, it will be recorded on YouTube, okay? You can relax. If you joined late, it will be on YouTube. It will be available for you to share later, okay? So my favorite tea is, in fact, it can be drunk hot or cold. I'll also teach you how to make iced tea so you can use it just like I do here. Drink it throughout the day, okay? I make a concentrated extract, which I'll show you how to make, and mix it with water or sparkling water. It tastes just like soda and is really good. Well, my friends, my second favorite tea, and I drink it every other day too, because that's what I do, okay? I like to drink iced tea during the day to stay hydrated. In fact, drinking tea the way I do for hydration is a very interesting way for you to keep yourself hydrated, right? Because, for example, a lot of people have many meals. Sometimes not because they're hungry, Many times they're thirsty, they're dehydrated. The hunger center and the thirst center are very close, right there in the hypothalamus. And this ends up creating a false sense of hunger. So if you're always carrying your water bottle and staying hydrated, you end up eating less. And I forgot to mention that an interesting property of green tea is its thermogenic effect. It has a thermogenic effect. It helps speed up your metabolism, and because of that, improves fat burning. So it's a tea. That's why it's my favorite green tea. And secondly, which I drink every other day, I do it like this. I drink green tea one day and I drink this tea here the next, which I'm going to talk about. And it's actually the one I have here for the other day. And I alternate between them. It's hibiscus tea. Okay? Hibiscus tea, guys. Besides being an extremely interesting tea for our health, it's very tasty, it's very refreshing, and I make it in a way that it tastes just like soda. For those of you who are addicted to soda, here's an option, an iced hibiscus tea, okay? I'm going to teach you how to make it, right? I'll show you how to make it at the end of this video. Guys, I forgot something very important about green tea. This information is really important, okay? That's how it is with live videos, right? We'll have to keep going back and forth because I remember something important. Green tea. It's extremely positive. It's hepatoprotective. It's an antioxidant. It has epigallocatech in galat. It's anti-cancer. But if you overdo the dose, it ends up being hepatotoxic. It's toxic to the liver, okay? But Moacir, is it hepatotoxic in tea form? Actually, no. Actually, when you make it as tea, it's very unlikely you'll get catechin intoxication, right, from green tea. But what are people doing nowadays? They buy a thermogenic supplement and it has green tea in the formula. Then they buy a weight loss product and it also contains green tea. Then they go to a coffee shop and order a juice made with green tea. Then they take another supplement that also contains green tea. Then they make green tea. That's too much. That's too much. It's that old saying, nothing in excess is good for you. So there have been some isolated cases of green tea intoxication. Because of this problem, people are consuming green tea in different ways. In capsule form, in juice form, in tea form. That's too much. But if you only drink green tea, you're going to have this problem, okay? So, going back, my second favorite tea is hibiscus tea. Hibiscus tea, folks, is very interesting, mainly because of the presence of anthocyanins. Hibiscus is that little red flower, right? Most people know it, right? Some people call it princess earring. It has several names, and there are also several species. But hibiscus, the most interesting substance is the anthocyanins, which is actually what gives it that reddish color, right? That reddish color of hibiscus. It's the anthocyanins, and anthocyanins have very interesting effects. Mainly, they help control cholesterol, okay? If you have uncontrolled cholesterol, it's not necessarily high cholesterol, but it's cholesterol. It's a bad lipid profile. What does a bad lipid profile mean? You have high triglycerides, low high-density lipoprotein, high apolipoprotein B, right? That's a bad lipid profile. Hibiscus tea helps with that. It also has flavonoids, right? All the teas we're going to talk about here have flavonoids, which have an antioxidant function. Besides having vitamin C, it also contains B-complex vitamins, several minerals, including iron, right? So, it's one of the teas, nutritionally speaking, in its nutritional composition, one of the most complete, okay? That's why I like to drink it, and that's what I'm drinking here now, hibiscus tea, throughout my day, you know? I drink it cold, I keep it in this little bottle to preserve it, and I drink it throughout the day. Exactly to help control my cholesterol, because my cholesterol is naturally high, you know? So I have to keep my lipid profile well controlled. And hibiscus helps me a lot with that. Berberine also helps me, but I use it in capsule form. So it's one of the teas I really recommend you start drinking, okay? It will greatly improve your health. A third tea here, also to drink in the morning, is ginger tea, right? Ginger tea. And especially for you who have inflammatory problems, for you who have autoimmune diseases, right? You suffer from autoimmune diseases, inflammatory diseases, you have rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis itself, joint problems, you have lupus, you suffer from these inflammatory diseases. Ginger tea is very interesting, okay? You It contains gingerol, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory. It has this anti-inflammatory function. I always recommend it for people who have these diseases, especially joint ones, you know, arthritis, arthrosis. Besides ginger tea, also use turmeric, okay? But then purified turmeric. Turmeric preferably 95% curcuminoids and preferably in the liposomal formula, right? Which has more efficient absorption, right? That turmeric from the supermarket, unfortunately, has very few curcuminoids, so you have to ingest a very large amount so it doesn't have a therapeutic effect. So it has to be in capsule form. But ginger tea in the form of tea can help a lot in this anti-inflammatory process. So if you have these joint pains, these autoimmune diseases, right? This ginger tea with gingerol in its composition can help a lot. An interesting point, my friends, and this goes for all three teas I mentioned to you, it's to add cinnamon, okay? You mix in cinnamon, right? If you're making hibiscus tea, add 2 or 3 sticks of cinnamon. If you're making green tea, same thing, add cinnamon. If you're making ginger tea, also add cinnamon. It improves the flavor, right? Cinnamon has that flavor, that really nice aroma, right? And cinnamon also helps a lot with insulin sensitivity. It increases insulin sensitivity. And this is fundamental for people with diabetes, fundamental for those who are overweight, and essential for those who are so-called pre-diabetic. I don't even like that term, okay? It's a term I don't like. But the coumarins present in cinnamon have this property. They have a property of improving insulin sensitivity. They also have an energetic function, and they also have an antioxidant function. Cinnamon is also very interesting for you to use, not only as tea, but also in cooking. I'll tell you, my friends, how to make the teas after I talk about the nighttime teas. Teas to use at night. So these 3 teas I mentioned here are energizing teas with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties and all that. But these are teas you need to drink during the day. I don't recommend that you drink these teas at night because they're energizing teas. Both green tea, hibiscus tea, and ginger have an energizing function. Even ginger. Some people, and you need to be aware if this is your case, some people are sensitive to ginger, okay? It's rare, but it happens. So some people are sensitive to ginger. In some people, ginger increases heart rate, and because of that, it can cause tachycardia and can increase blood pressure. It's very rare, okay? This happens to people who are sensitive. But if I have high blood pressure, can I use ginger? Yes, you can. If you're not sensitive to ginger, it won't affect your blood pressure at all. It won't affect your heart rate at all. But if you used it and noticed something, don't use it anymore, okay? If you used it and noticed it changed something, noticed your heart rate increased, you had a bit of tachycardia, it's because you're sensitive to ginger. It's rare, but it's worth mentioning here, all right? So these 3 teas are for drinking during the day, and now I'm going to give you 3 more. I was going to give you 2 more here, but I decided to give you 3, okay? 3 more teas to drink at night, okay? To drink at night. First, my friends, I want to talk to you before discussing the 3 teas for tonight and how to make them. I want to talk to you here about the supplements I use, which a lot of people ask me about, okay? Moacir, which supplements are for people over 40? Which supplements do you recommend for everyone to use? Which magnesium do you recommend? Which creatine? Look, my friends, do you know what happens when it comes to supplements? I used to bring them from the United States, okay? A few years ago, I used to bring supplements from the United States because here in Brazil, we didn't have the supplements that I considered more effective. And over there in the United States, I could find them. But without further ado, let's get back to our teas to drink at night. Are you having insomnia? Moacir, I can't sleep. Or I do sleep, right? But it's hard to fall asleep. That happens a lot. It's hard to fall asleep. When I lie down, I think about everything I need to do tomorrow, making it hard to sleep. Sometimes I sleep a little and wake up in the middle of the night. A lot of people have this problem too, especially as they get older. It's very common. I lose sleep sometimes at 4 in the morning and can't fall back asleep. Are there some teas that help? Yes, there are, okay? I'm going to bring you 3 here. Again, my favorites, okay? They're the ones I use pretty much almost every day. I drink one or another or a combination of them, okay? First tea, okay? My favorite as a relaxing tea, as a tea that will improve your sleep, will increase relaxation. Detail, these 3 teas I'm going to talk about now, don't use them during the day, okay? Because they'll make you slower, more sleepy, more relaxed. They're ideal for you to use at night. First tea, okay? Erythrina mulungu. Mulungu is one of those sticks. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like tree bark. You make the tea. I'll show you how at the end. It is rich in erythrovine and other erythrovinic alkaloids, which have a gamma-aminobutyric acid agonist property. What does that mean, Moacir? When night comes and you start to feel sleepy and relaxed, that's gamma-aminobutyric acid kicking in. So a lot of people sleep poorly because they're not producing enough gamma-aminobutyric acid because they have problems with gamma-aminobutyric acid production, which is gamma-aminobutyric acid. We say gamma-aminobutyric acid to make it shorter. The name is really long, right? Gamma-aminobutyric acid. So for those who are close, we just call it gamma-aminobutyric acid. So this gamma-aminobutyric acid, it's responsible for this relaxation. So if you have trouble falling asleep, having that little sleep, it's hard to sleep. Mulungu will help you, okay? These alkaloids, right? Erythrina and other alkaloids that are present there have this property. So to induce sleep, for sleep induction, it's my favorite tea. The second tea that I really like, actually, even because of the taste, to drink at night, it's chamomile matricaria, okay? Chamomile matricaria, my friends, has several alkaloids. All the teas here, my friends, have several alkaloids, various coumarins, and various saponins. I'm not going to name them all. I'll mention the main ones here, the ones with the most studied therapeutic effects. But there are several substances. Every tea has dozens of substances that work together, but I'll bring up the main ones here, right? And in the case of Matricaria chamomilla, it's apigenin. Apigenin has the property of improving your rapid eye movement sleep. So, for example, it will help you not wake up in the middle of the night or not lose sleep at night. It also has a relaxing property, and it also has an anti-inflammatory function, and obviously it's an antioxidant because all teas here have phenolic compounds. So, chamomile rich in apigenin is a tea, and the taste, right, guys? The aroma of Matricaria chamomilla and the taste, right? It's really good. Matricaria is the name, okay, guys? It's because everyone calls it chamomile. Someone is asking why Matricaria. It's because the scientific name of a plant is made up of 2 names, okay? So it's popularly known as chamomile, but it's Matricaria chamomilla, okay? The genus is Matricaria and the species is chamomilla. Just like mulungu, right? Known as mulungu is Erythrina mulungu, right? Valerian is Valeriana officinalis. So all plants have 2 names. Okay, that's why I'm saying Matricaria, but it's chamomile. All right? All right, guys. Any questions cleared up, right? Some questions here are important because sometimes we're in a scientific environment and end up saying things that most people aren't familiar with. I apologize, okay? But chamomile, my second one, is relaxing and improves your rapid eye movement sleep. And you can mix them. Okay, guys, I do that. I already have a mix. I should have brought it, right? I have a mix there that I already leave prepared. Mulungu and chamomile. And then I put 2 tablespoons of that because I make it here for everyone in the house. And then I use both plants at the same time, okay? I make a chamomile tea and I make a mulungu tea together, okay? You can do that. You can mix the teas, all right? There's no law that forbids it, okay, guys? In fact, it even improves its effect, okay? Ah, good question. Can you put sugar in tea? Good question. Look, it really depends on your purpose, okay? Personally, I don't like sugar under any circumstances. I don't like sugar under any circumstances. For example, I drink coffee without sugar. I drink espresso. My coffee is very strong. I drink coffee without sugar. I drink tea without sugar, fruit juice. I hardly ever drink it. Soda, don't even mention it, right? I don't drink it. You can give it to children, okay? You can give it to children, there's no problem. Within the dosage I'm going to mention here, okay, my friends, At the end, I'll talk about the dosages. I'll talk about how to make it because there's a tea I'm going to mention right now. If you get the dosage wrong, it's complicated. Green tea, same thing, right? So, my friends, I make my teas. I don't add sugar. My son, what does he do? He drinks it with me. He's 14 years old. He adds a little bit of stevia, okay? Stevia, which is a natural sweetener. My wife and I, we don't add sugar, okay? I don't put sugar in anything. Why? If you're diabetic, if you're trying to lose fat and lose weight, it won't help you, especially at night, right? You're going to have an insulin spike at night. That's not good. Now, if you just want the tea to sleep well, you're not diabetic, you don't have a problem with weight, you can use sugar, okay? I don't see the need, okay? I think the tea is very tasty. For example, my iced hibiscus tea here, which I'm going to teach you how to make, my friends, is naturally sweet because after you cut out sugar, you start to notice some flavors, right? It's naturally sweet. So I add sparkling water, I add a pinch of salt, I'm going to teach you, and it turns out sweet. You don't need to add sugar. It looks just like soda, my friends, just like soda, but it's not as sweet as soda. I can't stand drinking soda anymore. It's just too sweet. So, but there's nothing stopping you from adding sugar, okay? But I don't add it, all right? I recommend that you use stevia, right? Stevia is a natural sweetener. I think it's more interesting. So these two teas, and I'm going to bring a third tea here, but I'm going to ask you to be careful with it, okay? Which is a tea for those who have more severe insomnia, have serious insomnia, wake up, don't sleep well, have a lot of difficulty, which is Valerian tea, okay? It's Valeriana officinalis, that's its name, right? The name of the genus and the name of the species, Valeriana officinalis. Valerian, my friends, is extremely potent. That isn't necessarily a good thing. It has in its composition valeric acid and some other alkaloids which have this sedative function. Look at that. It's so potent that it has a sedative function. And so you have to be extremely careful with the dosage of valerian. Of course, with tea, this doesn't happen as much. This happens more when people use capsules. Because if you overdo the valerian dosage, it's psychoactive. So it can give you a restless night. Nightmare. There are some rare reports, it's true, of visions. So it's an extremely potent plant. People often think that because it's a plant, because it's natural, that there's no problem. Not necessarily, right? There are some plants that are poisonous and some plants that are potent, that have a certain strength. Valeriana is a good example, but it's very effective for people who suffer from insomnia, for those who have trouble sleeping, okay? It's a plant that has a very strong smell. It does, right? When you open a jar of valeriana, it fills the room because it has a distinctive smell and it's quite potent. So if you overdo the dose, it can actually make your sleep worse instead of better. So it has to be the right dose, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about now, about doses. Moacir, how do you make the tea? Well, first of all, my friends, it's very important when you're going to make your tea. You shouldn't heat the water too much. Don't let the water boil, okay? Don't let the water boil because when the water boils, it's too hot. And then you're going to add these substances. So some substances are volatile. They're thermolabile. So for example, apigenin and even valeric acid. Apigenin, already mentioned apigenin, epigallocatechin galate. These substances are thermolabile, thermosensitive. So don't let the water get too hot, okay? The secret is you bring it to a boil before it starts bubbling, right? As soon as it starts to boil, turn it off. Turn off the water. Then you add for one person a tablespoon of any of these teas here. So 1 tablespoon is enough. 1 tablespoon. Making green tea, 1 tablespoon. Going to make mulungu, 1 tablespoon. If you're making hibiscus, 1 tablespoon, and so on. Valerian, 1 tablespoon. Let it steep, let it infuse for at least 20 minutes, okay? Can it be more than 20 minutes? Yes. It can't be less than 20 minutes. That's the time needed for the infusion to happen. So the water can absorb the substances we're interested in here. And then you have 2 options. Drink it hot or drink it cold, right? Here's what I do, okay? If you wait 20 minutes, of course, the tea will cool down, right? The tea will cool down. So what do? I strain this tea with a little strainer, right? A little plastic strainer. I'm going to strain this tea. I'll get just the pure tea. I'll throw away the plant. And then if I want to drink it hot, for example, at night, I like to drink teas hot, right? Before going to sleep, I go to the kettle. I heat it up a little. Don't let it boil. Just heat it up a little. So it stays at that nice tea temperature. During the day, I like to do it like this. Cold. See? Cold. So how do I do it? Same way, okay? But I use more water and add 2 teaspoons water like this. 150 ml, about a cup of tea, right? Then I add about 300 ml of water, okay? To make it during the day, same procedure. Before it boils, you turn it off. Then I add 2 tablespoons of hibiscus or green tea. Then I'll have a concentrate. The tea will be concentrated like this. Then I divide it in 2. I put half, right, of the concentrated tea. I top it off with sparkling water. That's how I like it. Okay, my friends? I top it off with sparkling water. And I add a pinch, just a pinch, okay, of sea salt. Attention. Sea salt is not refined salt, okay? Sea salt. Why do you use sea salt, Moacir? It increases the hydration capacity of this tea, of this water. It increases conductivity. That's important, right? There are important minerals in sea salt. There's magnesium, there's potassium, right? There's iron. There are a number of minerals in it. It's not just sodium, right? Because refined salt is just sodium. Sea salt isn't. It has other minerals. That's why it has to be sea salt. So that's how I do it. In the case of hibiscus, my friends, and green tea as well, it ends up just like soda. Hibiscus has a more distinctive flavor. It tastes like a soft drink, so it's very easy to make. Get into the habit of drinking tea. Your cholesterol will improve, your energy will get better, and your antioxidant levels will increase. At night, it will help you relax. It will improve your sleep. Don't just take my word for it, okay? Try it. Give it a shot, right? Do it. You can find these teas at any natural product store, right? You can even buy them by the kilo, right? I buy some little jars like this, put them in, they weigh it there, and I bring it home. You'll see how interesting it is, and how by drinking tea you stop consuming junk. Sometimes you have tea at night. You get hungry, right? You feel like eating some junk food, so you're having some tea there. It was just a lack of hydration. The craving goes away. During the day, it's the same thing. That urge to eat sweets, the urge to keep eating junk, to drink soda. Are you drinking tea? It eases that craving. It's a very good strategy, especially for those who want to lose weight, okay, using these teas during the day. My friends, first thing, don't forget to vote for me in the Hibiscus Award, okay? For those who are just arriving, your vote is very important. In the version I'm going to upload there, recorded on YouTube, I'll see if I can put a QR code there to make it easier for you, okay? You can vote every day. Every day you wake up, go there and leave your vote for me until June 13th. You can vote every day, 1 vote per day, okay? So, it's really important that you help me out with this endeavor. I was very happy to have been nominated, and we need to be among those classified, right? For the next phase, I really have to count on you. Who else is there? All right, my friends. Oh, I almost forgot, huh? Our podcast is already live. It's on the channel. The first episode of our podcast, okay? It's really cool. I'll try to put out an episode on Thursday. I'm going to invite the top health professionals in Brazil, okay, to discuss various topics. You can't miss this podcast, okay? It's on my channel. The first episode is already up. Go watch it there. Criticize if it wasn't good, you can criticize. If it was good, you can praise it, okay? Feel free to comment. It's already live, okay? It's a new project of mine that I developed for you. I'm sure you're going to like it. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. It will be available in full on YouTube, okay, for those who arrived late. Don't forget to share. You can give it a like, you can comment, feel free. And don't forget to vote for me on iBest, okay? I'm counting on you. All right? A big hug, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it and see you in our next conversation. There's a new video coming out on Monday, okay? A big hug to you all. See you Monday.